Hi crafty friends, I'm coming along to you today to show you what you can do with the wooden Dollar Tree pumpkins and leaves that they have at their store this year. I was really excited when I saw them and I got these ideas in my head on what I wanted to do with them, and I ended up buying 2 packs of each, and I did 10 pumpkins and 10 leaves. And I could tell you that's too much. I should have only done 5 and 5 because it takes so long to do these. But anyway, I'll show you a few of them. I'm not going to show you every single one. This particular pumpkin has a Spellbinder's sunflower, and I've got this pumpkin, and then I have this leaf, and some of the leaves I did with paper bows, and some like this one I did with fabric bows. It just depends what I wanted to do at the time. Here's another one with a paper bow, and then I have this one and this one, and this right here is a Cottage Cuts sunflower. And then this right here, this pumpkin has a flower that was made with the old Spellbinder's carnation die. And this little flower right here is just a rose made with the 5-petal Marvy punch. Not anything too fancy. I'm hoping those are going to stay up there now. I made this flower for the tutorial that I'm going to show you how to do the pumpkin. And this was made with the 5-petal Marvy punch as well as this one. So this one was made with a rose, and this one was just made as a little flower with some of the little centers in there. And I just painted them with glitter. This one also has some white painted on top of the orange paper to make it shabby and look like it's been frosted by, you know how you have Jack Frost in the morning and in the fall. So that's why I did it that way and where my line of thinking was going. So when I was creating the leaves and the pumpkins, I made a basic template. So what I did was I took the wooden leaf and traced it onto just a piece of cardstock and used it as my template, and I would mark front and back because I covered the backs of my leaves with the same type of cardstock that was in the front. So you'll need to trace it twice and mark it front and back. That's with the leaves and the pumpkin. And then for the pumpkin, I have one right here to show you. I've already covered it. I also created 2 templates to make it dimensional, because you'll see that this has dimension. And so what you're going to do is you're going to cut 3 pumpkin templates. So you need the one for the basic pumpkin, and then you're going to cut this one, and when you cut it, make like a little heart top on the top of this, and then when you cut this one, just make it flat across if that's how you want it to look. And I made it so that they would line up like this, so it would hang down a little bit lower here to give it the dimension that I was going for. You're going to want to take and distress ink all your edges, which you can see I did here, and then on the wooden pumpkin as well. And then before you assemble it, you're going to want to cut these 2 pieces out of some foam. And this is the foam that I used, and I'll turn it over. It's Creatology. I believe I got this at Michael's. That's it right there. It's not very thick, but it's just enough. I hope you can see that there. I think it's the 2 millimeter. It's not very thick, but it was just what I needed to give me dimension. And you can see here I have it on the back of this, and this is ready to go. All right, and then I have several leaves, and I'll show you. This is the Cottage Cuts die that I used for the sunflower, that one right there. And these are the leaves, the Harvest Oak Leaf, the Mini Leaf, the Maple Leaf Mini, the Harvest Leaf, and the Elegant Harvest Leaf. I also used, and I have not been able to find it here because my husband came and put some lights in my craft area and my stuff got messed up and I can't find it, but I did use the leaves from Tim Holtz, and they were the Thinlits die, and I used those as well, and especially for these little branches that are in here. There's a little branch in that die that I used for that. And then most of the paper, but not all of it, is this. It's called Amber Moon from Prima. And it's not all of it. Some of it is paper from the Hot Buy at Michael's from last year. Like the pumpkin that we're doing now is from that. All right, so now we're going to want to put this together. So I told you to distress the outside. If you don't want to have a hole, if you have another purpose for this piece of wood, this wood ornament, other than hanging it, don't put the hole in it. And I'll tell you how I did the hole. All I did was poke a hole with a pencil on either side. And if you just move it around like that, it will take and smooth out the edges so that you can't tell that the paper was poked in there. It'll be nice and smooth. So you're going to want to assemble your 3 pieces now with some glue. And you can use wet glue or you can use hot glue if you want to. I don't have my hot glue gun here, so we're going to use the wet glue right now. And we're going to just put that so that the bottom is even with that. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to put this on top. And you're going to want to line this up so that it's straight across, and you're going to want to have this hang down a little bit, and it just gives it more dimension when you do it that way. And as you can see now, I have 3 pieces and a lot of dimension. Now the next process that I do, and if you see inside this package, I don't know if you can see, there are some curlicues on there, which is like a little grapevine which happens on pumpkins. So what you're going to do is, I got this right here. It's like wrapped wire. I got this from Hobby Lobby, and you're going to take it and wrap it around a pencil until you get something that looks like this. And let's see, I wrapped it around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times. And then you're going to take it and you're going to fold it up like that, about half and half, so that you've got a little curl on the bottom here, and you're going to pinch it together. And what you're going to do is you're going to stick it in your pumpkin right in the middle, like right about there. And I'm going to put a little bit more glue in there to hold it. And it would be advantageous to do hot glue that, by the way. And then I'm going to use this to stick it in there. All right, until I like how it looks. All right, so it's going to look like that. Really cute, right? Then before I put anything else on it, I'm going to tie my little hanger. I'm just going to put this in here. And then I'm going to tie a knot on the top. And just cut this off like that. So I have that. Now I'm going to start adding my leaves and my flowers. And as you can see here, I need to get these little things. I don't have them over here. So I may be rushing to go grab them in a minute. So you're going to layer this with, it depends now if you're going to use what I'm using. It depends how big your flowers are. If you have a rather large, like that's a rather large sunflower, you do not need any other flour than that. If you've got medium-sized flowers like this, then you can do 3 and it'll work just fine. So I'm going to assemble this with some leaves, and I've got different leaves here. And I believe I decided I was going to do the red leaf. Going to do the red leaf here. And you don't want your leaves to stick out too much, because your craft projects have a tendency to be fragile sometimes. And then I'm going to do this yellow one on this side. And then you can bend this up and form your leaf so it's not flat. You don't want it flat. And then I'm going to take this one and put it in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to attach this rose right up here to the top on this side, and this little fall flower on this side. All right, and that's what I've got so far. And then I'm going to attach this one right here. So it's going to be partially on my little flowers, and what I'm doing is pulling down the leaves a little bit so that you'll be able to see them still. Whoop. I should have filled up my glue bottle. All right, and I'm going to take this and put this right here. All this is a little ribbon, little something extra in layering, and put that right on there like that. So you see what I have here. All right, and I need to go get these little pieces right here. As you can see, I did them on all the pumpkins, and I don't have them here right now, so I'm going to go grab them really quick. And I have a few more leaves. These are from the Tim Holtz. It's a thinlits die, and I'm going to also stick them in there. And I love that Tim Holtz thinlits die for the tiny leaf shapes, because it's good for filling in little places here and there. So I'm going to stick that in here. And then I want a kind of yellowish one. And I don't want my leaves to be flat. I want them to look like they've gotten crisp by when they fell off the tree. So I'm just folding them and twisting them so that they have a little bit of dimension. All right, and I'm going to just stick that in there. And if you'll pardon me for a second, I'm going to go get those little gold things. All right, and this is what I'm talking about right here. And I pick these up when I see these at the Dollar Tree. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut some of this apart. And I'm going to stick it in these little places. Like it look really good right there. So just put some glue on that. And we're going to stick it in there. And then we're going to do another little piece. I've got this other half that I had cut. And we're going to stick it under here on this leaf. And we are just about done. I need a tiny, tiny piece. So we're going to cut this off of there. Maybe stick that there. Yes. All right. So when you are designing, it's always good to keep in mind to have odd numbers. So that's why I did 3 of the big leaves, 3 of the small leaves, and 3 of these little, I don't know what you call them, little ball things. Because it evens out your design. Does that make sense? And then I'm going to show you what I used. And that's basically it. This is exactly what you're going to do with the leaf. The only thing different is on the leaf, you're going to put your flower, you put your leaves up here and your flower on the bottom, and then your bow down here. And I use the Martha Stewart branch punch in there and the little branches for the leaf, because I was thinking of the leaf falling off the branch, and you know how sometimes the leaves will have a little piece of branch on there, so that's why I did that. Okay, so this is your ornament, and I will show you how I did the packaging. So this is Spellbinder's die from my stash, and I just cut that out, and I also cut out some craft cardstock, and I mounted this piece on here, the Spellbinder's die on here, and I have a little removable dot that I'm going to take and put on the back of my pumpkin like that, and stick it on here because I'm going to be giving this as a gift, so I want the recipient to be able to take it off this backing. And I'll just stick it on there and press it, and then I put my little label on there that has my information, and then I just take a 5, I think it's a 5, let me see what it says on here. I have these bags. They're 4 5/8 by 5 3/4, a little cello bag, and I'm going to stick it in that bag. And you're going to want to do it so that the closure is on the bottom. All right. You just stick it in there like that, and then peel this off, and then close this, All right. And there you have your beautiful pumpkin ready to be given as a gift. It would be great to bring it or either as a hostess gift or put these on the plate of your guests when they arrive for Thanksgiving. It would be a beautiful presentation on your plate. And as you can see on these right here, I have it a little decorated, and what I have here is a 2-inch piece of craft cardstock that I put across the top here. And I need to get my stapler. I should have been better prepared. I'm sorry about that. So what I'm going to do is just let it overhang a little bit, and I'm going to staple it through the plastic bag, but not actually onto the inside. And I'm just going to cut this off and staple this through the bag. That way your recipient will be able to just pull this out. It won't be all stapled together. And then I have a little Martha Stewart punched lace right here, and I'm going to put some glue on the back of that. And I just wanted to say that I am not on any design teams, that I am telling you what to use because this is what I have on hand, and it is what I have purchased myself with my own money. So I'm not promoting anybody's products or anything like that. It, like I said, it's just something that I have on hand. And I'm looking for my little round. Doesn't look like I have it here. Somehow I lost it because I've done this video like 3 times. Okay, so anyway, to make this right here, all I used was a punch that was 1.5 inches, and then I used some paper from the collection at 1.25 inches, and I used a Tim Holtz bird punch, and I punched it on brown cardstock, and I layered this. It does have a little bit of foam in between there and there. And then I took my leaves and I put them on top of that like this. Make sure you bend them so they look like they've just fallen from the tree. And then I made these on the computer, and all I need to do is take my distress ink and go along the edges, and then you're going to attach that on top of here just like that. And then I had some of these little sparkly things from Michael's. I'm going to attach that on top of there so you can see, like, just like that. I do have, here's one with the leaf on it, so you get an idea what it looks like. It's very pretty. Okay, I hope that helped you out and that you get a chance to make some of these. These are fun to do. And until next time, everybody, happy crafting.